Good morning, Nystrom, and happy Friday to you. I hope you've had a great week of distance learning. All week long in announcements, we've been talking about Martin Luther King Jr. Talked a little bit about his life, talked about the civil rights movement, talked about his legacy and how it looks today for youth carrying out his legacy. And today, have an extra special treat for you. Have some students who are going to be reading portions of Martin Luther King's speech, as well as Mr. Shoemake. If you recall, and when we're normally in the building for school, we have Mr. Shoemake read the entire speech, and he does an amazing job. This year, we thought it would be nice to have some students participate as well. And so, most of the students you're going to hear are 5th graders, because they have wrapped up a whole module unit learning about human rights. And what better way to cap that off than reading a portion of Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. In addition, there are a couple of 6th graders as well from Miss Ibilola's class, so thank you for those students who participated. And of course, Mr. Shoemake for always doing a tremendous job with the I Have a Dream speech. So without further ado, I introduce Nystrom 5th and 6th graders along with Mr. Shoemake, giving you portions of Martin Luther King Jr.'s 1963 speech of I Have a Dream.
We have also come to this hallowed spot to remind America of the fierce urgency of now. This is no time to engage in the luxury of cooling off or to take the tranquilizing drug of gradualism. Now is the time to make real the promises of democracy.
Now is the time to rise from the dark of desolate valley of segregation to the sunlit path of racial justice. Now is the time to lift our nation from the quicksand of racial injustice to the solid rock of brotherhood. Now is the time to make justice a reality for all God's children. It would be fatal for the nation to overlook the urgency of the moment.
Something that I must say to my people who stand on the warm threshold which lead into the palace of justice. In the process of gaining our rightful place, we must not be guilty of wrongful deeds. Let us not seek to satisfy our thirst for freedom by drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred.
We must forever conduct our struggle on the high plane of dignity and discipline. We must not allow our creative protest to degenerate into physical violence. Again and again, we must rise to the majestic heights of meeting physical force with soul force.
As we walk, we must make the pledge that we shall always march ahead. We cannot turn back. There are those who are asking the votes of civil rights. When we will be satisfied, we are never satisfied. As long as the Negroes in the victims of the unspeakable horrors of police brutality.
We can never be satisfied as long as our bodies, heavy with the fatigue of travel, cannot gain lodging in the motels of the highways and the hotels of the cities.
We cannot be satisfied as long as the Negro's basic mobility is from a smaller ghetto to a larger one. We can never be satisfied as long as our children are stripped of their selfhood and robbed of their dignity by the signs stating white only.
We cannot be satisfied as long as a Negro in Mississippi cannot vote, and a Negro in New York believes he has nothing to vote. For which to vote? No. We are not satisfied, and we will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream.
I am not unmindful that some of you have some here to out of great trials and tribulations. Some of you have come fresh from narrow jail cells.
Some of you have come from areas where your guess for freedom left you battered by the storm of persecution and staggered by the winds of police brutality. You have been the veterans of creative sufferings, continue to work with the faith that unearned suffering is redemptive.
I say to you today, my friends, so even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It's a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream
that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all the men are created equally.
I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood.
I have a dream that even in the state of Mississippi, a desert state sweltering with injustice and oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice.
I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they are not judged by the color of their skin, but the content of their character. I have a dream today.
I have a dream that one day down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day, right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, and every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope, and this is the faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. And this will be the day, this will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. And so, let freedom ring from the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom ring from the mighty mountains of New York. Let freedom ring from the heightening Alleghanies of Pennsylvania. Let freedom ring from the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado. Let freedom ring from the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And when this happens, and when we allow freedom to ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual. Free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
How great was that? Thank you to all the students and staff who made that possible. Really inspiring to both see and hear that. So for the students who put in all the time working and practicing and learning, there's some really big words in there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wanted to give a shout out to all of them: Emmeline, Bruce, Haley, April, Diana, Nicole, Elizabeth, Renee, Oscar, Julia, Katie, Israel, Calvin, and AJ. So thank you to all of you for putting in the time, putting yourself out there. It's not easy to read in front of everyone. So thank you for having the guts to do that as well. Of course, thank you to Mr. Shoemake for his incredible reading that we enjoy every year. And then Miss Pearson, Miss Ibilola helped the students get ready So thank you to both of you as well. On a much lighter note, these riddles, each time I think I've stumped you, so many people nail them. So I'm thinking I should have asked for a riddle book for Christmas, but I don't know. I'll see if I can find harder ones for next week. Yesterday's riddle is what comes once in a minute, twice in moment, but never in 1,000 years. The answer is the letter M. If you notice, there's one M in minute, two in moment, but there is no M in 1,000 years. So congratulations to Miss Sims, Miss B, Miss Pierce, Miss Robinson, Miss Fairweather, Miss Heller, Miss Ibilola, Mr. Z, Miss Schultz, Miss Franco, and Mr. LaFleur. Awesome job to all of you on the riddles all week long. I will try harder next week. I thought this one was hard too. So I'll try and stump you when we see you on Tuesday. That is it for today. Remember those 4 B's. Be responsible, be respectful, be safe, and be honest. Have a great day or not. The choice is yours.